This is Geoffrey of and welcome back to the days when all roads led to Rome, and specifically on the day when an army of the Breuci, the fury of Sabasius, attacked Salona, its garrison, and Legio VI Concordialis that was stationed there. The Breuci have brought a strong force of swordsmen and an equally strong force of spearmen. Let the battle begin.
As you command, by your command, as you command. When we have thrown these invaders back into the sea, I hope that Neptune will drown them all. I want these bastards dead. By sword or sea matters not, but dead. Stand ready.
Let us now look at the army defending Salona. In the center is the main force. On the left here, on the western side, is a small body of spearmen backed up by legionaries and some cavalry that is now taking position. There are also some reserves, including some levies in the background over here. And on the eastern side we have a similar arrangement. We have two cohorts of legionaries. They are backed up by a second cohort. You can see the second cohort or the third cohort in the rear, and some levies. And here's the main force. On this side we have a body of spearmen and some levies. And further to the west we have several cohorts of legionaries backed up by levies. And our general commands this force, and here are the Breuci. They are fearsome swordsmen approaching from the north. Wisely, the Breuci sent a force to attack our auxiliary spearmen on the side. This is the weakest point in our defense, and the spearmen are attacked also by cavalry. Although outnumbered, our vigilance are holding their ground against a superior enemy. But just to their left, there is a small gap now, and the enemy swordsmen are pouring through. There's only levies there who are desperately trying to hold them back. The vigilants do the best they can. They need desperately reinforcements. But further to the west, our legionaries are holding the enemy back. And here on the eastern side of Salona, 3 more enemy units make their appearance, but they make a mistake. They ignore one of the cohorts of legionaries who are now throwing pillai at their backs. And they charged their flank and decimated the Breuci units. Began to weigh them. Having defeated the Breuci units on the eastern side of Salona, 3 cohorts of legionaries were now free to come and strengthen the lines of the northern side and relieve the hard-pressed and vigorous levies, and the battle was renewed, fierce as never before. And as the battle was raging had reached a climax, the captain of the levies climbed up some wooden boxes from there to direct his men, who are throwing pillars supporting the legionaries in their hard fight against the enemy spearmen. There you can see their commander on his vantage point, looking so glorious. And finally our legionaries on the right side are pressing hard on the enemy swordsmen, and the Breuci they rout en masse on this side, freeing our legionaries to come to the support of our left wing here, and our legionaries begin to flank the enemy swordsmen on this side. But the Breuci, to their credit, hold their ground. And fight valiantly, not giving up an inch. But at last, outnumbered, outflanked, they begin to retreat. And now their lines are broken. But it is only the swordsmen who are retreating, and they are merely falling back. And there is half of their army still undefeated, these spearmen waiting on their rear as reserves. And now the spearmen will join the fray. The battle is not even at its halfway point. And the spearmen of the Breuci look glorious. Our levies had skirmished forward, but have to fall back in a Monty Python fashion as our legionaries hold their ground against the enemy skirmishers and spearmen. And here some of the enemy cavalry joins the fray, and our legionaries have once again their hands full, but they're holding them back. At this point, our army that was guarding the western part of Salona tried an outflanking maneuver, but the Breuci saw it and sent a bunch of spearmen in the way, and a huge melee ensued with Vigiles and legionaries on our side and several companies of enemy spearmen on the other side. And the enemy spearmen just look fabulous, their colors and their mustaches. Meanwhile, in the center, the enemy cavalry, the enemy skirmishers, and their spearmen on the side begin to waver. Some of their units leave the field of battle. A few men continue to resist. Our levies counterattack and are joined by our legionaries, and the remainder of the Breuci units try to support the spearmen in the background, but are being overrun by our cavalry. Here's our general, and they are making here a desperate stand, bravely holding the ground to defend the rear of the spearmen, which you can see on the right of this scene. But here the Breuci on the side, at the end of their tavern, our legionaries begin to break through, here flanking the enemy spearmen. But the enemy spearmen are just not giving up. Full credit to them. That's some brave fighting. Here's some valiant men. In the background you begin to see some legionaries and some cavalry that are beginning to encircle the enemy spearmen. And the final attack is now over. Our cavalry charges in, throws everyone to the ground, and the fate of the enemy spearmen is now sealed. There is one unit who still fights on in a kind of testudo formation. They're trying to break through, but they will die down to the man. Our enemy has been crushed. Our general is hunting down the routed enemy, those who were now thrown into the hands of Neptune, and the day is ours. We are victorious. Even with the help of the garrison, the odds were at first against us, but we eventually prevailed. Thank you for watching.